Thank you so much, Greg, and thank you for joining us at Finovate. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, and we're really excited to show you what we do. So at SkenarioLabs, we use AI and machine learning in order to build a picture of large property portfolios with a level of accuracy which gets into the individual building. And I'm going to show you how we do that in order to help you guys link value, ESG performance, and risk for all buildings everywhere. So what we have up here is a building out of a portfolio of mortgages. In this case, the portfolio is quite substantial. We thought we'd show you behind the scenes on how it actually works. So what we do is we look at a building in the way that an engineer might. So we look at what it's made of, we look at its environment, we look at its usage, and we get that data from all kinds of different sources. We get it from engineering sources, we get it from open data, we bring data together. We don't rely on data from banks or insurers, our partners. We instead source it ourselves. You just need to give us the address, we'll find everything else out. We use that to produce things like, as you can see on the screen, the energy usage of that building, the carbon usage of that building, the operational costs of that building. And what we can do once we've got that are some other exciting things. So we can start looking at the decarbonization pathways of that building. So we can do things like going into the building and doing a retrofit. So for example, what we can do is if we go into renovations, thank you very much. We can go and add a new renovation project. We can change any part of this building, both in terms of what it's made of and how it's used. In this case, we'll change our window. We'll go for something much more modern. And we can see here straight away we've done a complete recalculation based upon the costings of that exact material in that exact location. In here you can see we're spending quite a substantial amount of money on the best possible materials. And you can see both the energy savings that that's going to give us, the carbon savings and the cost savings. And additionally, not only the amount of money you're going to invest, but the amount of carbon that you're going to invest. And we're not only giving you that for one building, we're giving you that for the entire portfolio. And I'll show you that in the next section. So what I'm showing you here is a small portfolio. Again, this is more what we look like at portfolio level. We give you the information that you're interested in. In this case, the client, Finovate, is interested in compliance. And so we've given them something looking at energy performance certification. We can either take certification from any of the geographies we work all across Europe. We can also work in North America. And we can either take real data where it's there or it's not there. We use machine learning to essentially fill the gaps in the data, and then we validate that. So what we have here is a portfolio of buildings. You can see there at the bottom the EPC scores of all of them, whether it's real, whether it's calculated. And if we go into one of the buildings, you can see, OK, this building is non-compliant. It's E. We need to at least get it up to C. We've already optimized the pathways for that decarbonization. And what you can see there are the costs of doing so. But and this is where it starts getting really exciting, in my opinion. Not only are we showing you how we're going to do that with the various different options that we've provided there, which we've seen as the cheapest way to get to EPC-B in this case, which we'll optimize for this demo. If we scroll down, you can see what that looks like as a green mortgage. So we're actually doing some work funded by the UK government at the moment. We've got some similar funding in Finland, where we're also based, to look at green mortgages, green lending. So what we can see here is we've provided a calculation of what additional green lending looks like to bring this property down to EPC-B. We can give you both the change in the spend, we can give you the net cost based off the energy savings to the user, and therefore what that's going to look like over the lifetime of the mortgage. This is then something that we can also integrate your affordability criteria via APIs in order to give you an origination process for green lending. And that's something that we're looking to launch later this year. Something actually I'll mention that we're going to publish later this year is also proving the green dividend. So we've all talked about how efficient buildings are more valuable than inefficient buildings. We're looking to prove to say exactly how much is the case. We're going to be publishing that, and if anyone wants to hear more about it, come and talk to us later. So the other side of what we do, I've talked a little bit about value. I've talked a little bit about performance. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about risk. So we're going to go over to a commercial building. We'll do any building anywhere, any type. In this case, we've taken a nice, shiny business school in central Manchester. So what we're showing you here is a risk analysis. So we've taken risks and risk analysis from various different sources. We'll always tell you what the sources are. You can see those on the right-hand side. And we've given you an assessment of what is the level of risk that we're seeing here. So, and how is that going to change? So in the centre of Manchester, we're not seeing a lot of wildfires. We're not seeing a very large number of floods, as long as you're away from the river, which this building is. However, as we move towards 2040, what we've done is use what we already do. So we're modeling, of course, those materials. We're also modeling the environment. We're modeling, in this case, SIBC, future weather data, and we're utilizing that to look at the potential for overheating in this environment. So what you can see up there, the orange line is the cooling capacity of this building. The blue line is based upon analysis of this year, what we expect the cooling requirement to be. The red line is the modeled data for 2040. And what you're seeing there is a building that's fundamentally not going to be usable for 2 to 3 months of the year. That, at that point, is an enormous stranding risk, but there are also things you can do about it. And so this data, we believe, is extremely valuable both to investors, to banks, to insurers. And of course, in order to bring that back, if we go up a little bit, you can see the final part of what we do, which is that we have valuation models, both for market values as well as for reconstruction values. And again, it comes back to what I showed you at the beginning in the behind the curtain bit. We know what this thing is made of. We know how much glass is in it. We know how much concrete is in it. We know how much carbon is in it. We can use data. In the UK, for example, we're a data partner of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. We use similar data sets for other market areas as well. We can provide you not only an estimate based upon our advanced ML algorithms that we build ourselves, we also validate those against real data to prevent risk of hallucination and to ensure that we're giving you accurate data all the time. And so hopefully that for you concludes what for us brings together value, performance, and risk. So if you want to come and talk to us at the booth, we're just out there. We'd be ever so happy to speak with you. We're at a stage of growth in our business, which is really, really exciting. We're hoping to speak particularly with banks, particularly those with large international portfolios. We want to help you benchmark those, look at how we can ensure those are compliant with things like EBA, PCAF. We work quite substantially in carbon accounting, for example, and green taxonomy. And additionally, we're working more and more, as you can tell, in insurance. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of the conference.